Hello, welcome to the studio. Actually, nothing about this is the studio. We're about to go on a cruise, and this is our what we need to pack. Don't mind the mess. Right now, I am in South Carolina at my current temporary home, but I just want to break down what my statistics were from 2025. I don't know if anyone's interested in this, and I know it's different than the series that I've been doing on my channel, but I think I'm going to maybe create some sort of 2026 earning challenge for myself. And so this would maybe be the start of that, because I'm going to talk through some goals and just talk a little bit about how I did in 2025. And we can compare and contrast what works, what didn't work, what platforms were best for me versus you. Hopefully you get some insight or whatever. I don't know. Education, entertainment, whatever it might be. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Ren. This is Out of the Box Thrift on YouTube. I am a part-time reseller. I sell anything between something that I found in the basement of my parents' house to stuff that I find at the thrift store or at a garage sale that I think I can flip for a profit. This year, I really focused in on 4 platforms. Those are my typical ones: eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop, all of which had, ups and downs this year. This year was the first time that I was actually charged for listings on eBay. And this is confusing to me because I guess maybe this would be the first time that I surpassed like 500 listings in my store. I don't exactly know what the reasoning is. Obviously, the average free eBay account, you can list up to 250 items per month, and that includes the items that are renewed. When the item auto renews before it expires, it renews itself, and there counts as one of the listings. I was for a while getting charged on listings that I didn't realize I was getting charged, and it wasn't really in my budget. And now I would love to hear your input. I would love to hear your experience, because I don't pay for like the advanced eBay store. Maybe it would be worth it since now I've paid all this extra money for paying for those renewed listings, all of that information. So what works best for you with eBay? Should I pay for that upgraded store? Should I keep the free version and just list only what I think can make me the maximum profit, or just list everything and just suck up the fact that I have a 35-cent fee every time I list a new item? I spent or was charged $78.75 in eBay listing fees that I was pretty much unaware of for a while. So now I'm very diligent about it. What I've been doing is kind of taking down listings before they get renewed. If I think that maybe they're just too old, they're out of style, they don't have a lot of interest, stuff like that. Because I want to avoid those fees. I'm really not at a place where I feel like I can invest that extra money to have all those extra listings on eBay. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's worth it. Whatever. So that's the money invested. When it comes to sourcing, the way that I track my money is I put the cost of goods in this spreadsheet, and when it sells, I deduct that from the amount that I profit. Pretty obvious, right? But I only count it once the item is listed, if that makes sense. So I have still sitting $52.85 in unlisted inventory. So that for me, I'm just having as an expense for 2025, instead of saying all of the total amount of sourcing was an expense for 2025, if that makes sense, because I've already made back the profit on it. Let me know if you have questions on that. The money that I still have invested is that $78.75 plus $85.82, making a total of $131.60. That's kind of like a loss. So after that, I'm just gonna be so transparent. Part of me sees the benefit in being so transparent about all the numbers and the nitty gritty, and part of me doesn't really, but I don't really care. Right now, I'm just going to be for me, I think by posting this video, making this video, talking about the breakdown and kind of figuring out what I have been capable of in the past and sharing that will kind of be a way to hold myself accountable in the future, because I have a lot of goals for the coming year and years. So I'm just going to be so honest and share all of those numbers. So that's my deficit. After all of that, everything I have invested, my total profit net for the year, my take home, $3,362.68, which would average out to be about $280.22 per month, if that's how I broke it down just across the year. I am going to get into the quarters and the months and everything right now. As a part-time reseller, I think that's pretty good. An extra $280 a month. That covers a lot, being that I am a single person. I live with my partner, but as a single person, I don't have kids, I don't have pets, I have no car payment, no mortgage, obviously rent and all of that to pay. $280 covers like groceries per month plus more. That's awesome. Like that's like basically taking out an entire grocery bill every single month. It's as if I never had to pay it because that money that's coming in from this side hustle just pays for that. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the way that I think about it as a part-time reseller. So let's break it down talking about quarters. We were kind of all over the place this year. My absolute best quarter, surprisingly, was quarter 3. And then my worst was quarter 2. Why? It could be because of, we move around a lot. And so during these times, let's think quarter 2. So during quarter 2, I actually was working a full-time job at a bar in addition to my job that is admin work for a roofing company, and in addition to YouTube and also, reselling. Because of that, I think I lacked in listing and being on top of sourcing and all of that. If you're new to the channel, a little bit about me is my partner and I travel for work for his job. And so every 3 to 6 months approximately, we are moving to a different city, a different state. And because of that, a lot of my work is remote. In addition to reselling, I do, a bunch of other things that I just named. And a lot of times I will also pick up a gig at a restaurant because it's fast and easy money for me. Sometimes reselling does get thrown to the wayside a little bit with my lifestyle, and that's okay. Because as I said, this year I was still able to basically never pay for groceries by having this side hustle. So let's break it down by month. My best month money-wise, not in the amount that I sold, but the amount profit that I've made, was actually September, which is also just funny to think about. I wonder why. I guess it could be because after coming home, if you've been watching the Hoarder series, after coming back, moving back in temporarily to the house where I grew up, trying to list a lot of stuff that already existed there. So I was having no cost of goods. A zero cost of goods is huge, y'all. A $0 cost of goods. And then by the time things got listed, by the time I was moving again, I was able to sell a lot. So in September, I made a total of $504.14. And then jumping over to my worst month, which as I just kind of stated, we were moving, end of the quarter, whatever. My worst month was June, making a total of $166.86. So if you see there is a lot of variance between those numbers. Sometimes it's just unpredictable. I know that quarter 4 for a lot of people is the best, most profitable. It has been that way for me in the past. But again, my lifestyle and the lifestyle of every single different person who sells on the internet is going to look different. Some people have kids, some people have high sports seasons, some people have whatever it might be. It's different. So that was that. Let's talk about the platforms and why I feel like eBay is worth the investment. Quarters 1 through 3, eBay was my best top performing platform in the amount of items that I sold. And I think it would have been the same in quarter 4 when Poshmark became my best performing platform item wise. They were pretty neck and neck in quarter 4, Poshmark and eBay, but because I delisted a lot, this was around the time, pretty much quarter 4, maybe the end of quarter 3 was when I realized I was getting charged a lot more than expected for eBay listing fees. And so therefore I was delisting a lot. And I think maybe if I hadn't done that, eBay still would have taken the cake for my top performing, most sales platform. Now, this makes me think that that extra money investment is worth it, that extra 35 cents tacked on to, the cost of goods or the cost of the sale might be worth it. It's just hard when you have such a big store. Like I was having over 500 listings. So like 250 of those were getting fees every single time, at least, right? Because you have 250 free listings per month with the eBay store that I have, the very basic plan. So I think that potentially it could be worth it, but I also need to make sure I'm having those quick flips. Some items in my eBay store have been listed for 3 years, 4 years. That's insane. And I know that a lot of resellers, they'll end up donating it. If inventory gets stale like that, they'll get rid of it, which I totally understand, and that's so valid. The system that I work with, I feel like it's not as easy because I have a warehouse worker. My dad actually helps me do a lot of the shipping because most of my inventory is actually back in Chicago where I'm not currently living because I'm always on the go. I don't take a room of, almost 1,000 items with me every time. That just is impossible with my lifestyle again. So delisting that inventory and physically moving it out of the space is just not as realistic. And therefore I just usually let it sit. And sometimes I do sell listings that have been listed for years. Let me find an example really quick of one thing that sold recently that literally has been there. Okay, yeah, super random. So in September of this year, my top performing month, I had a Falcons jersey, like juniors size Falcons jersey. I guess it is one of those things that's kind of timeless. It's a sports team. Every year there's going to be football season. Is that football? But that was listed, it sold on September 17th of 2025, and it literally was listed since 2021. 2021. So let that speak for itself. It's less common for that to happen to me, but it's all to show things do sell, even if they've been listed for a long time. Stale inventory doesn't mean it's impossible. If you're going to take any lesson from this video, let it be that. No, I'm just kidding. So with all that being said, I do have some lofty goals for 2025. I do want to net profit at least $5,000 in my pocket. If I'm able to make that happen, it will have paid for my long big trip that I'm doing to Europe and to a music festival in Europe in the summer of 2026. That trip probably will end up costing me $4,800 potentially, because we're flying to Belgium, going to a music festival for the week. We have the whole festival package. Then we're flying to Geneva. We're going to take a train to France. We're going to go hiking and do some stuff in the Alps. And then we're potentially flying again down to see my family in Italy. It's a whole big trip and it's going to cost a lot of money. But imagine if I could make all of this money to have that trip paid for and not have to worry about, digging into savings or picking up a different hustle or something like that. If you want to see vlogs for all of those adventures, my main channel, I can have it linked here. I'm always posting all the really fun stuff, adventures on that channel. So definitely subscribe there if you're interested. I would love to hear how 2025 ended up for you. I would love to know, what are your best performing platforms? Seriously, tell me what works for you with eBay and what makes the most sense in your experience, because I want to maximize my money. Obviously, I want to maximize my listings. I just don't know, what's worth investing in per se. I've also, dabbled in some other platforms. I did some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, some stuff on Whatnot. Neither proved to be very successful for me in my systems. So just let me know your experience. I really want to learn, and I hope that you were able to learn something from this video, even if it's just renewing a little bit of hope in the possibilities of what reselling can do for you if you're new. And thank you so much for tuning in. I am holding myself accountable this year. We're doing it. We're making all the money. We're doing all of the things. We're accomplishing every single goal, because I won't take no for an answer. My motto for the year is fortune, they say, favors the bold. So make sure you're subscribed, because we're doing a lot this year. Thank you for being here. I'll see you later.